boys and girls. I'm Mrs. Galvan, the superintendent of Greenfield Union School District, and I'm so proud to read to you this week stories that are really based on equity and really recognizing the beautiful differences between all different people that we have in our country and our community and in California. And so you're going to see on TV a lot of things that are about children and people that are marching and doing some really quiet but very positive protests to tell them that they're not okay with some things that are happening in the world right now. And so this selection for you today is called Let the Children March. And so it's a true story from years ago that I'm going to read to you about what happened before any of us were born. Okay? So en español. Hola comunidad de Greenfield, soy Superintendente Galván del Distrito Escolar de Greenfield, leyendo otra historia con ustedes, y todavía esta semana estamos celebrando las diferencias entre la comunidad, de la gente, y esta historia que voy a leer es sobre unos desfiles, y dice aquí que deja a los niños participan en los desfiles, y eso es importante de entender, porque sí, esta es una historia, pero es de verdad. Y esto es algo que pasó en el pasado, en los muchos años en el pasado, antes de nosotros, y cuando había unas injusticias en el mundo, y esta historia va a comunicar las diferencias. Los niños veían cosas en la tele, ustedes hablando sobre el tema del mundo en este momento, y en el nación de América. So, vamos a leer un poco para que ellos puedan entender lo que está pasando. Okay, so we're going to read a little bit about this story called Let the Children March, to hear a little bit about the history and to understand why things are happening on television right now, and our parents are talking about things that are happening in our communities. So here we go. This story is written by Monica Clark Robinson, and it's illustrated by Frank Morrison. Let the Children March. The year was 1963 in Birmingham, Alabama. I couldn't play on the same playground as the white kids. I couldn't go to other schools. I couldn't drink from their water fountains. There were so many things I could not do. One warm spring night, my family went to church. We went there to have regular church services. We were there to hear Dr. King speak. We were there to plan. He wanted to raise an army of peaceful protesters to fight for freedom, his brown eyes flashing fire and love. Dr. King told us the time had come where we would need to march. If I march, Mama said, I'll lose my job, sure enough. I can't march, Daddy said. I have a family I have to feed. The weight of the world rested on our parents' shoulders. But this burden, this time, did not have to be theirs to bear. I don't have a boss to fear, my brother said, or a job to lose. We can march this time. We'll be Dr. King's army, I said. I'll be fine, Daddy, I promise. Don't worry, Mama. Dr. King didn't like children being put in harm's way. He was a daddy too, after all. But he said that though he were wrong, we were not too young to want our freedom. Let the children march. They will lead the way. On May 2nd, a sunny Thursday, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, cousins and friends, we all met at the church, dressed in our best, feet ready. In a silence so loud that all I could hear was my heart racing, we began to walk. Hand in hand, we marched, so frightened, yet certain of what was right for freedom. The path may be long and it may be troubled, but I'm gonna walk on. Would I be hurt? Would we be heard? Would it all be worth it in the end? I wanted to run from the angry faces in the crowd, run from danger, run from fear. Boys and girls, sisters and brothers, cousins and friends, and on, and we marched, we marched, we marched, singing the songs of freedom. 1,000 strong we came. Hate dogged my heels all day, its yellow canine teeth sharp, but courage walked by my side and kept me going. Disperse or you'll be jailed. Disperse or you'll be jailed, the police shouted. Disperse or you'll get wet, the police shouted. Disperse or we'll release the dogs, the police shouted. We did not disperse. We kept on marching. We wouldn't stop until things started to change. After I was sprayed by water, stronger than anything I had felt before, rough hands pushed me toward, and I fell on my knees. In the police wagon, I was going to jail. Dr. King reassured our parents. Don't worry about your children, he said. They're going to be all right. Don't hold them back if they want to help, for they are doing a job for only themselves, for all of America and for all mankind. That night, crowded into the jail, too small for even half of the kids, we sang, "We shall overcome. Nobody turn me around, and freedom is coming." Our parents couldn't be there with us, but still we sang, wrapped in the proud and loving arms of our ancestors. I was still there, but we heard the next day, and the next, more kids came to march. The water hoses they used to sting could not stop our faces and our fierce tide. The path may be long and troubled, but I'm gonna walk on. Turn the other cheek, we had been taught. Show love where there is hate. The world watched as hate bruised us, but for 7 days we walked only with love. And even President Kennedy took notice. Daddy said the president received letters and calls about us from all over the world. Our march would become a memory, a small part of the larger story. But we had been heard, and the seeds of revolution were sown. 2 days and nights I stayed there in the jail. Some stayed even longer. And when I left, I was tired and sore, and my best dress was ripped, but my smile was as wide as the Mississippi River. I had made a difference. "Oh, I'm so proud of you, baby girl," said Mama. "Your march was what made them see us. With nothing more than our feet, voices, and courage, we had done what others could not. Change was right around the corner. We felt it like a cool breeze in Alabama. On May 10th, the great news rang out. Dr. King had reached an agreement with the white leaders of the city, and desegregation would begin. 1 month later, I was playing on a playground I had never been allowed to play on before. 2 months later, my family ate at a diner we'd never been able to eat at before. Our march made the difference. We children led the way, singing the songs of freedom. 1,000 strong we came. And these are some pictures from those days of the march. And those are some of the children and a timeline that shows all of the changes as they happened. So this selection, and then on the back, the path may be long and troubled, but I'm going to walk on. So in this story, it's actually a true story. Let the Children March On is a historic time years and years ago when people stood up for something that was really important to them. And just like we read yesterday in the story about separate is not equal, about the Mexican family in Westminster, this one was about some black children that couldn't play on the same playgrounds as other children. So we want to remember these moments because it makes us who we are, and we needed make sure that we are doing whatever we can to celebrate our differences and to know that all people are important no matter what color of their skin. And as you remember in Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech, he wants us to be judged by not the color of our skin, but the content of our character. So what's in your heart is what we need to be judged by, not by what we look like, because all people should be judged not on the color of their skin. So thank you for joining us today. Going to continue to read some really powerful stories for you next week. And we thank you for all you do to celebrate your brothers and your sisters and to lift them up during this time. So Let the Children March was our story for today. I'm Superintendent Galvan with the Greenfield Union School District, sending you and all your family a great big bear hug from our family to yours.